very good evening. Power supply has been restored to the island. However, Niue Power Corporation says expect some power rationing. Niue Power Corporation's Hui Paola has advised that everything went well with power generation during the night. Power supply to the south feeder was off up to midnight, while power was on for the north feeder from 12 midnight to 5 a.m. The battery capacity at 2 a.m. was at 75%. From power this morning, power was supplied to both the north and south feeder. However, Paola says we are not in the clear yet. Looking at the weather pattern for today, we may have some power ration to allow for the batteries to recharge. Regular power outages is affecting the local businesses, says the Chamber of Commerce. The main shopping centre, the commercial centre in central Alofi, will be affected as power will be intermittent at times. Businesses will be affected, particularly those with freezers like the small supermarkets. BCN News spoke to one of the small eateries at the commercial centre, and they said that if the power continues to be off, they will lose an estimated $1,200 income in one day. There is a generator at the commercial centre, but it is only available for the bank. BCN News understands that the businesses of the commercial centre a few months ago had asked the bank for their businesses to be hooked up to this generator, but they are still in discussions with the bank. Hui Paola from the Niue Power Corporation says to expect intermittent power outages over the next few months as they try to remedy the technical and equipment issues confronting the production side of power to the island. He says the powerhouse is still waiting on new generators that would help with the problems, but have yet to be confirmed whether they will be getting these two new generators soon. According to the advisor to Premier, Wayne Dorr, the generator that was sent to be fixed previously will be arriving on the next boat. The current two generators do not have the capacity to withstand the entire grid as it is. Help is expected to arrive on this week's flight for the case of the injectors to the remaining two generators to provide support to the two currently being used. A group of over 30 young people from the Hakupu PIC Newton Church in Auckland arrived on the island last week as part of a tour to revive interest in the Niuean culture and the Wangahau. According to the youth leader, Lecky Jackson Burke, young people in New Zealand feel disconnected from their culture and their language and struggle with their identity. Esther Pavihi spoke to Lecky Burke at the Hakupu Show Day last Saturday.
According to Lecky Burke, this trip to Niue is a way to reconnect with Niue and showing the youth group the birthplace of the Wangahau. Burke says that quite often they hear the term plastic as a reference to young Niueans born and raised in New Zealand, which is why the church provides the strong foundation in which they as a youth group can dispel such stereotypes.
The purpose of our youth group was to come here and have a cultural exchange with the youth here in Niue. A lot of our youth back in New Zealand, our Hakupu youth group, are moving on to university, so we wanted to farewell them by bringing them here to Niue. And we thought we'll come here for the show day. We're also doing our tapu whānau tomorrow in the church. So it's a good time for us to utilise Wangahau Niue, for us to learn, for us to send them off before they go out to study, because we know it can be a lonely road when you go out there and study. And we want to make sure that these kids have a foundation and have some knowledge of their culture, their language, and who they are and where they come from, where they belong, so that they don't get tempted to go, find it elsewhere. So it was definitely about that. It was coming here to reconnect, coming here to connect with God, with the Spirit, with the church, with the village, with the island.
Lecky Burke says that the group uses dance, performance and singing as a way to revive the Wangahau Niue, because in New Zealand daily life, one doesn't speak the Wangahau every day, so the church is where they get to speak and sing in Wangahau. This visit to Niue will reconnect these young people to their Niuean heritage and building valuable networks with the Niue-based youth groups. This is Esther Pavihi for BCN News.
Pacific Media Network's Chief Executive Patrick Leno has resigned to pursue other interests and to spend more time with his family. Patrick has led the organization for 2 years. He also led Broadcasting Corporation of Niue from 2002 to 2009. His last day with Pacific Media Network is Sunday, 30th June. The board will appoint an interim CEO. 4 villages to date have been screened for tuberculosis since the commencement last year. So far, 712 people have been screened, with 71 tested positive with the Mantu tuberculin skin test for latent tuberculosis. The 712 screened include those that opted voluntarily for the test. Villages to date that have undergone the assessment are Hakupu, Vaia, Avesele, and now Alofi North. Those that tested positive with Mantu tuberculin skin test commenced with treatment last Thursday and will continue until all 71 people diagnosed with latent TB has been completed. It is a 12 weeks long treatment to treat and prevent the disease from developing into active tuberculosis. With 9 pills taken weekly, the patients are being closely monitored. Dr. Jason Tautasi elaborated more on this.
So the treatment for latent TB, this is the one that the patient is just carrying it and it's not transmitting it and it's not causing harm to that person. So the treatment will be a period of 12 weeks and they only need to take the tablets once a week for 12 weeks and a total of about 9 tablets. So we need to, before we even start the treatment, we need to know that we have enough supply for everyone. So the procurement of the medicine has to come from Finland, and it took some time in planning and stock taking before we even start. So that's why we had the delay. At the moment, I think we've as I said, 712 we've already tested, and we are estimating because that's just half the population, roughly half the population. So we are estimating that we need to test the other half, 712, and we are also estimating that most likely we're going to get another 70 plus people who's going to be positive and added on to our list of positive patients. So we're looking at approximately treating 140 patients overall. So we needed to cater to make sure that all the medicine is enough for all that 140.
Dr. Jason advised the necessary cooperation required from agencies, including immigration, to ensure all persons are arriving and planning on living in Niue adhere to the control of infectious diseases, thanking immigration for the assistance in such control.
So everyone who will come and work and live in Niue, they will need to complete our medical check, immigration check. And that includes TB and many other infectious disease like HIV, syphilis, and some sexual transmitted diseases. They're all included in that form. We let them fill the form before they come in. The doctors are on the different islands, and then we do our own check when they arrive to confirm.
With the aim to screen Niue's entire population and eliminate the preventative disease, Dr. Jason encourages the ongoing support of the entire community. The Round the Island bike race was one of the highlights of this year's annual Hakupu Show Day, attracting hundreds of people to the Tuasea grounds on Saturday. 22-year-old Alex Hopotoa from Tamako Tonga took home the coveted Round the Island bike race trophy and $1,000, beating defending champion 47-year-old Hivi Tongia Puheke of Avesele by a mere second, who took home $500 for second place. Alex's older brother, Jinam Hopotoa, claimed the $250 prize in third place. The Member of Parliament for the village, Michael Jackson, as his family were the major sponsors and organizers of the event, which attracted 16 registered riders. The oldest rider, 74-year-old Howard Burnham from Liku, who came in sixth, and the youngest rider is 12-year-old Apisinia Whakaosi Manavalui from Lakeapa. Alex told BCN News that he is grateful for the achievement and thankful to all his supporters and the organizers of the event. Tongia Puheke says that he will be riding again if this event is going to run again next year. He will try again, saying that age does not matter because sports is a key aspect of his life. All three winners of the day said that the toughest part of the race around the island were the potholes, dodging some but not missing all of them. The winning rider crossed the finish line at 2 hours 32 minutes, and the second and third riders crossed more seconds behind. 2 staff from the Broadcasting Corporation of Niue will be leaving this Friday for 2 weeks attachment in media outlets in New Zealand. This is part of the Pacific Corporation Broadcasting Limited's Media Exchange program. BCN post-production editor Eroti Navuku will be based with TV3 in Auckland, and reporter Esther Pavihi will be based in Wellington with Radio New Zealand International. 2 years ago, Tifanga Tupui Liu also took part in this Pacific Media Exchange program. Both Esther and Eroti will be away for 2 weeks. General Manager of BCN Travis Siakia says that he is grateful for these types of exchange programs to enable the staff of BCN to learn new ideas and be exposed to the media standards applied overseas, and the staff will bring new skills back to the team. He says that BCN is going through some real positive changes as part of the developing local content for our radio and TV programs. And that's BCN News for tonight. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night.